Yo estuve en el Cuerpo de Paz en la República Dominicana. Entonces, bienvenido. I was in the Peace Corps of the Dominican Republic. Now, I argue that in some points of that fence, in certain places, you could make a case that a wall might help. Not across the entire border, I'm opposed to that. But the idea of having some sort of better security, including additional guards, additional technology here that would allow us to deal with the issues. But there ought not to be any correlation here. When you take the oath of office, you don't swear to uphold the Constitution or protect the country. I believe by upholding our rights, we do protect the country. And the administration has taken the opposite view. They're posing to us the false choice, the dichotomy that to be safer, we have to give up rights. I think that's so fundamentally flawed and fundamentally dangerous for the United States of America to embrace that idea.
All right. Thank you, Senator. Let's go back to Suzanne.
We have Judy Bagley here with us, if you would stand for a moment. You have been working in the casino business for some 27 years now, cashier?
That's right.
Seen a lot of people come and go, obviously.
Absolutely.
What is your concern?
I'm booth cashier, and we've moved here over 30 years ago. And I have 3 children, and as of yesterday, 8 grandchildren.
And what is your question? Congratulations. That's amazing. What is your question to the candidates?
My question is, over the next several years, the baby boomers, like my husband and I, will be retiring en masse. At the same time, the country is at a record deficit. We face a major challenge. When I retire, I will have my pension, but many others will not. Throughout the campaign, we've heard the candidates committing to support Social Security and Medicare. My question is, but the ideas on reform are often vague. My question is, what do you plan to do to ensure that Social Security and Medicare are truly available to us, our children and grandchildren, in light of the current budget conditions?
Thank you very much. Very important issue. Senator Obama.
Well, first of all, Judy, thank you for the question, and thanks for the great work you do on behalf of the culinary workers. A great union here. Look, this is something that we've talked about in our campaign. We've got 78 million baby boomers who are going to be retiring. And the first thing we have to do is to put an end to George Bush raiding the Social Security Trust Fund to pay for a misguided war in Iraq. If we take some of that money back and we start getting control of our budget and have fiscal discipline, that will make some of the difference, but not all of it, because we're going to have more senior citizens, more retirees, and fewer workers. So I've been very specific about saying that we should not privatize, we should protect benefits. I don't think the best way to approach this is to raise the retirement age. But what we can do is adjust the cap on the payroll tax. Right now, anybody who's making $97,000 or less, you pay payroll tax on 100% of your income. Warren Buffett, who made $46 million last year, pays on a fraction of 1% of his income. And if we make that small adjustment, we can potentially close that gap, and we can make sure Social Security is there. Last point, because I have to answer the full question. Medicare is a tougher problem because we've got healthcare inflation going up, and I am meeting people all across the country who just can't manage, even if they've got health insurance. Their premiums have gone up 78% since George Bush took office. It's a scam, and people are getting desperate. The only way we're going to fix Medicare is if we get that rising cost under control, and that means having a universal health care plan where every single person has prevention and they are able to get the treatments they need. We're instituting health technologies and managing the chronically ill so that we save money, we provide coverage for everybody. That, over the long term, will save Medicare enormous amounts of money, and it'll be there for you.
Thank you, Senator. Senator Clinton. You've been criticized by Senator Obama, I think Senator Edwards, among others, for refusing to take a hard and fast position on whether you would raise the tax above those making $97,500 a year to try to secure Social Security in the long term. Are you ready to make a hard and fast statement now on your position on what Senator Obama just said?
Well, I'll tell you what I'm for. And I think Judy raises 2 really important issues. I am for getting back to fiscal responsibility. I think I counted you said deficit 3 times. 6.5 years ago, when George Bush came into office, he inherited a balanced budget and a surplus. And the Social Security system was on a path to be solvent into 2055. We have long-term challenges with Social Security. We have a crisis with Medicare, just like we have a crisis with health care costs. We have a crisis with energy costs. We have a lot of very intense challenges we have to meet right now. So what I want to do is move back toward fiscal responsibility. I think if we don't do that, we're not going to deal with any of these problems adequately. Then I think we will demonstrate that we're serious about getting our house in order again. And then I think we have to have a bipartisan commission. I do not want to fix the problems of Social Security on the backs of middle-class families and seniors. If you lift the cap completely, that is a $1 trillion tax increase. I don't think we need to do that. But I want to say one final word about Medicare. Number one, Medicare should be able to negotiate for lower drug prices. It was a travesty when the Bush administration did not allow that to happen. And I have a lot of other ideas about how we'll preserve and strengthen Medicare.
Senator, so you're not ready to accept a raising of the cap on that, but I know that Senator Obama wants to respond to you.
I will be very brief on this, because, Hillary, I've heard you say this is a $1 trillion tax cut on the middle class by adjusting the cap. Understand that only 6% of Americans make more than $97,000 a year. So 6% is not the middle class. It's the upper class. And, you know, this is the kind of thing that I would expect from Mitt Romney or Rudy Giuliani, where we start playing with numbers. We start playing with numbers in order to try to make a point. And we can't do that. No, 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 no. This is too important. This is too important for us to pretend that we are using numbers like $1 trillion tax cut instead of responsibly dealing with a problem that Judy asked for, and she said she wants a specific answer, and that's what I provided. But understand, this is the top 6%, and that is not the middle class.
Senator?
First of all, I think that you meant a tax increase, because that's what it would be. But secondly, it is absolutely the case that there are people who would find that burdensome. I represent firefighters. I represent school supervisors. I'm not talking, you know, it's different parts of the country. So you have to look at this across the board, and the numbers are staggering. Now, when people say be specific, I listened very carefully to what Senator Obama said when he appeared on one of the Sunday morning shows. And he basically said that he was for looking at a lot of different things and using a bipartisan commission to do it. I think that's the right answer. That is where I have been from the very beginning. That's what worked back in 1983 when we had a real crisis in Social Security. The government got together. President Reagan and Speaker Tip O'Neill put together a bipartisan commission. Then everybody looked at everything at once. It wasn't one person's idea or somebody else's idea. Everybody had to get in a room and say, here's what we're going to do to fix the problem. That's what I want to do, because I think that's what will work for America.
All right. I want everybody to stand by, because we have a lot more to talk about, a lot more of these questions from undecided voters here in Nevada. But we're going to take a quick commercial break. Much more from the campus of the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, right after this. Welcome back to the campus of the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. We're at the Democratic presidential debate. Suzanne Malveau's got another undecided voter with a question.
Shannon Spencer, if you stand up for a moment. What is your question?
We constantly hear healthcare questions and questions pertaining to the war, but we don't hear questions pertaining to the Supreme Court justice or education. My question is, if you are elected president, what qualities must the appointee possess?
I'd like to get to Senator Dodd, if you would, and in answering that question, also tell us whether or not you would require your nominees to support abortion rights.
That's a good answer. I like it, Suzanne.
Little hook there.
Well, first of all, first of all, thanks for your question. But obviously, you want people here that are going to have a balanced sense of justice, that bring a life experience to that bench, where they're not just there as academics, that have a clear record in the judicial branch, where they either served as a judge or as a lawyer, where they've demonstrated that ability to be fair and just when it comes to the administration of the laws of our country here. I don't necessarily believe in applying litmus tests here. I think it's a dangerous